Hello YouTube, this is Game44 and everything, and today, well, this is a video that's been in a while, but it's finally coming out. This video is talking about the two types of SpongeBob eras. This era is known as the Golden Era from Season 1 to Season 3 until Season 4, from all the way to the newest era, Season 10. 9 could technically fit into this, but I'm just putting in 10 since both of these seasons are really different. I wanted to compare them together. So, I'm only doing Season 10. Now you're probably wondering, what exactly is this thing talking about I'm making for this video? Well, I'm here to talk about the first three seasons about the Golden Era, and however we will call the newest era, the Silver Era, the Second Golden Era, the Reference Era, you get the point. I'm going to talk about both of these eras and what makes them different, how much has changed and everything. So, since a lot of fans love the Golden Era so much, why don't we begin with that? The Golden Era has a lot of interesting things. In Season 1, 2, and 3, they had a lot of interesting things with experimenting, putting grown-up jokes in, of course hiding and making sure kids don't understand it, of course, and also they had like this interesting experimenting where they did like grown-up things that really were not really technically allowed for being put in a kids show, but it was technically able to allow the way how they made it look. They also had many creative ideas that came with this, with specials and everything. Of course, many of the specials are really not that good, but still. So yeah, what else do we have here? Well, let's begin talking about Season 1. Season 1 was honestly the beginning of everything. Season 1 had the most all the characters introduced, from where they were just getting every character introduced, set up, and where their roles are supposed to be in. That's pretty much the beginning of Season 1. Where all the areas and places where we'll keep going to season until the series ends. That's what made Season 1 Season 1. We got the Flying Dutchman, we got Larry, we got Mr. Krabs, we got Swimmer, we got Patrick, Gary, you know. So pretty much, yeah. What made this also, this was pretty much the most creative and interesting fun time for all the three seasons though. It had the most character and had all the characters really interesting, funny, goofy, and most of all, each character had their most interesting role in. Until Season 4, though. Now, we won't really talk about Season 4 for reasons, but yeah. Besides all that, let's continue on with the rest, with this. Now, the rest to go with Season 1 to 3 is, like we have pretty much one of the episodes where they thought they murdered the health inspector. That was one of their most interesting ones to do, because it was they were trying to get rid of murder and everything, like, getting away with it. Of course, at the end of the day, it turns out they didn't murder anyone at all. Or don't forget when they were doing their trying a hoarder experiment, where pretty much, which by the way, that's what made the other three seasons special. They go out with horror, where they were trying to scare their audience for kids. And there are very interesting ideas with Mr. Krabs being a cheapskate and everything, and they had all the characters fleshed out like I mentioned before. So, yeah. This season had brought lots of creative fun with jellyfishing, bola blowing, all the characters being fun, creative, and really, a lot of interesting episodes we could talk about. Now guys, I know this is really short and everything, but I'm not going to be talking about every single different type of episode. I am pretty much making a quick thing about this. So, besides that, let's get on to Season 10. Now you're probably wondering though, what about Season 9 and 8 again? Well, Season 8 and 9 are indeed way more different compared to Season 10. I mean, Season 9 is very similar. It's similar to the way how Season 1 was, but then going into Season 10 where we already know everything. Yeah, it's something like that, but I'm more preferring just staying on the 10. So, what was about this that this season does? Well, this season has the most interesting types of episodes to talk about. It has these episodes where they're now beginning back to experimenting again. Now, when I mean experimenting, I mean they're trying to do more creative and fun things with this. This is something Season 4 all the way to Season 8 or 9 could possibly have. Season 9 did actually have some experimenting, but it wasn't the same compared to Season 10. Season 8 also pretty much is similar to this, but it was trying to be experimental with things. And Season 4 and 5 did a similar way, but still. After that, the rest of Season 6 all the way to 7 did not really did the exact same thing. They were boring, and many of the episodes were boring because with the characters, the way how they changed them up, making SpongeBob and Patrick completely dumb. Squidward just being cruel, well, not cruel actually, pretty much everyone's being cruel to him, Mr. Krabs with, you know, that type of stuff. And many of the episodes just felt boring and plain. They didn't really have that much creativity as Season 10 did. The way how Season 10 makes themselves creative, more creative than Season 1 to 3, is that they try to bend the laws of physics. Now, to put this in an example, we will discuss There's a Sponge in My Soup episode. This contained 3 hippity characters who pretty much needed to be warm. The weather was cold and everything, they just barge into the Krusty Krab, and well, you get the point. If you've seen the episode, spoiler warning, I suggest you do, because that episode made me laugh a lot my first time watching it. In this first episode, well, this episode was one of my introductions to Season 10. This episode was just really creative how they done things with it. The way how they did this is that the 3 hippies just pretty much went into the soup, and they did a few types of plots. The first one, SpongeBob trying to put food into the soup, and no matter what happens, they kept doing it. They kept eating the food without SpongeBob noticing, which honestly, that was the best idea. Pretty much seeing SpongeBob, seeing the hippies and thinking there was like sharks or there's some type of monster in the soup might have kind of been boring. Anyway, the point of the plot was to get rid of them, and you're probably wondering, how does it work? Well, in many of the jokes and everything gets very creative, like they don't try to make it flat out simple. That's how the way I can put it. Like, first of all, the hippies keep jumping back into the soup, and eventually they have to, SpongeBob had to go into the soup and everything just to get it. There was also references from an earlier season, Season 6, I believe, or 7. It was when they were dressed up as hippies as well, but I'm not really discussing about that until for another part of this one. In this, pretty much, like, for this example, like Sponge on the roof thing, SpongeBob stuck on the roof episode, I think that's what it's called. That episode pretty much had an interesting idea. It was a whole entire episode where SpongeBob was on the roof, and pretty much he couldn't get off. Eventually he built a new Krusty Krab on top, which made things interesting, eventually became the new Krusty Krab. And besides all that, you are probably wondering what exactly goes on. Now, I can go on and on with all the types of jokes and everything, but since how many types of jokes there are, I really don't know what to discuss about. I think my favorite part, though, in that episode was actually about where Squidward with the hand puppet thing. If you've seen what the shadow puppet was and everything, what it was doing in that episode, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it to you. I'm trying not to spoil you all what's been going on with these seasons or anything, so you can be surprised by the time you see it. So, besides all that, though, let's pretty much discuss what exactly goes on with the rest of it. Now, like I already said, really what goes on is, like, they also did an episode that was a reference to a 1950s. It was in a black and white show where basically the Twilight Zone, where basically this is known as the title song. Of course, it's not in black and white. I personally like the episode where Squidward got his clarinet and they did something with it. At the end, there was a special contest, and there were many other things to go with it as well. And also, like with My Leg Guy, where pretty much Fred, who breaks his leg throughout many points of the series, got his own episode. Bubble Bat kept coming back for this season, even from the movie. He also came back in Season 9 and 8, I believe. Maybe 7? But still. The point I'm actually trying to make is that this reference from all the types of seasons. It referenced things from Season 9, 8, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 5. The reason why I'm telling you this is because this is why a lot of fans love this season. Not only it's very creative and fun, but it referenced many things from the other seasons. It gives pretty much showing how much they have grown so much and how much some things have changed. And it's very interesting, like, pretty much the basement and everything from the Krusty Krab to the point of everything going on. And also the point of, like, well, many things, to be honest. There's a lot of interesting ideas, and I can go on what I'm talking about, even with Doodlebob Returns and all that type of stuff. But really, as much as I do love talking about this stuff, I can go on and on, but really, that would be a humongous long video if I was discussing every part in detail. Plus, like I was discussing, I would only pretty much spoil if I was going to be reviewing the actual episodes of these. I have not really tell you exactly what goes on both Hippie in the Soup and Sponge in the Soup. I mean, I did tell you. But I'm not telling you exactly how every single joke and everything plays out. And try to give you a real description how exactly it happens, just because I want you to be surprised if you have an interest of seeing these episodes. Because there's a lot the way how they did this and everything, the way how SpongeBob got onto the roof, how the Hippies came to the Krusty Krab. It's all creative, funny, and interesting. But, however, this is where I have to pretty much end the video and everything, because this has gone on long enough and I did not expect it to go on for this. So, until then though, this is Judging Game 44, signing out. Until then, I'll see y'all later. Bye! Potato!